that is one of the most precisely constructed model cities ever built. It was made as part of HBO's new on-air look and is one of over 60 visual elements that were combined to create HBO's new program opens. This film is a peek behind the scenes at how this new look was achieved. HBO decided to create an opening to introduce our exciting new programming, we didn't want just a sign. We wanted to communicate to the viewers that when they turned on HBO, they were tuning in an entertainment center. It all began with an idea at Liberty Studios in New York.
We had to come up with a concept that would be unique, that it would look unlike anything else on cable or on network television. I took the viewer and put him in a home environment, and he turns on his television set, and the camera slowly pulls back and goes out his window, and magically we start this tour and flight as we swoop down through a city.
Well, the thing was that the shoot that they're trying to do, they couldn't do it with an actual city. They couldn't run down the middle of a city with a helicopter or shoot it out of a plane or what have you. So the effect they were trying to get, they had to have a city built, a model city. We started off by building a cardboard mock-up, and we marked off on the buildings detail or areas that we felt we would see. From there, we actually architected the building, and we built it up from that.
6 craftsmen worked for over 3 months to create nearly 100 unique buildings for HBO's city. The models were all handcrafted with painstaking accuracy. First, they were shaped and molded. They were painted to look weather-beaten, and finally detailed with incredible accuracy.
Pay a little closer attention to detail. All the things you're taking for granted are just as important as what you see.
You really don't know how much detail to put into something like this. But a lot of people take things for granted when they walk down the street or look into a storefront or what have you. But if there's something missing, you know something's missing, but you don't know what it is. So you put as much detail in it so the eye picks up every little thing.
There's a working light bulb in every room, in every building, and headlights in the cars and buses.
Foliage, there are hundreds and hundreds of trees, all handmade, all different sizes and shapes.
The model was carefully covered with a tarp so an artist could paint the 16-foot-tall cyclorama that creates the illusion of twilight.
The length of the model is 30 feet long, and it's actually broken up into thirds: your city, your suburbs, and your country.
This would be a great place to have children come because it's fascinating. It's like, it's better than going to Toyland at Christmas time because this place is just filled with toys of one kind or another.
I like the way we really went into the sculpture on the buildings. We researched that a lot. We tried to see the architecture that's found in many of the cities, and most of it's Victorian. That's where we really excelled in, finding the detail in the stone carvings on the buildings. We threw a few extras in, seeing if people would spot them. We put a few bums on the street, a few hookers on the corner. Those little things are like our calling card, little things that we wanted to add to the monotony of the 3 months of building this thing.
While some workers were building HBO City, others were constructing the letters that formed the HBO logo. These letters are made of brass and chrome plated. In the finished effect, they appear to be a giant HBO space station floating towards you. It bursts forth following the Stargate effect, a special piece of animation created by David Bruce.
It's actually pretty simple. You might be surprised when you see it on the table. It's two pieces of art. They're simply placed on top of one another and offset slowly. It gives you this huge blast with dots that move down and out from the center of the explosion. Shooting it one frame at a time, the computer will move them slowly across one another to build up the special effects that you see.
The Stargate effect is combined with a star field, the HBO Chrome logo, and several other components, including a musical score with a 65-piece orchestra. Ferdinand J. Smith, composer and producer of the music.
Well, what we were trying to achieve with this particular project on HBO was that they would have the biggest, most exciting sound on television. In other words, you can see some sitcoms, they'll have kind of kind of openings, and we wanted all of the music to reflect how big and enormous a project this is. 24 hours a day of programming that interests people. It isn't just movies.
Another special effect enables streaks of color to race around the O in the approaching logo.
This is a special effects rig we built to put color arrays into the inside of the Chrome O. Basically what it was is a series of fiber optics built with motors and gears and pulleys so that we can change the color and also move it around.
Well, you know, you can set up a camera out on the street at night, and as the cars move by, their headlights and taillights leave a long streak. It's essentially the same effect.
Reed Paul explains the smoke effect.
Well, the smoke effect has gone through a lot of changes. First time we did it, we didn't have plastic in the room. We didn't have masks. We had no control over it. And it looked like a fire. And it smelled like a fire, and when we were done, we did too. What it does is it gives the model atmosphere, so that when you're looking down the street, a block or 2 blocks away isn't quite as sharp as where you are. It made our mountain soft, so when you're in one part of the model, the next part, which is really 5 feet away, looks like it's 100 miles away.
When the model is finally photographed, it is done with a specially designed computer-controlled camera that can perform extremely complicated moves. It is filmed 1 frame at a time and takes up to 14 hours to shoot a scene that lasts only 20 seconds in the finished product.
When you do a model sequence like this, as you shoot it with a motion control system, which was a camera motorized to make moves. And in the old days, you would actually have to go and hand crank everything, but now with computers, we have them motorized, and the computer actually does it.
You're going into a trance. If you're inclined to fall for that old hocus pocus, forget it and focus beyond that casual glance.
The last thing photographed is the first thing you see. The actors, portraying typical HBO viewers about to enjoy an HBO presentation. Suddenly, the work, the precision, the endless hours of trial and error all seem worthwhile. The HBO illusion is complete, ready to tease and tantalize your eye.
This is the Home Box Office Television Network.